We can absolutely all use a lot more cash, I'm pretty sure, and a good chunk of more flexibility. That's why often people start thinking about building an additional revenue, whether it be something on the side or with the intention of replacing their 9 to 5 income. As a busy parent, I understand why we all need this. I have 3 kids and a giant of a football player who can basically eat me out of house and home most of the time. So, not only do I need the flexibility to get my kids to and from where they need to go to spend time with them, but I also need the income in order to be able to support that life. So, today's video is all about how can you build revenue while being a busy parent. But first, hey there, if you're new here, my name is Heather, and around here, I love to keep business simple, real, and built to fit in your actual life. So if that sounds good, if that resonates, stick around and subscribe. All right, let's get into this. I have some notes right here so I don't forget anything that I want to mention in today's video. Let's talk about the process of this. You need to first decide, what are my goals? Am I looking to just do something on the side? Am I looking to replace that income? Am I looking to get a certain dollar amount on the side? Am I looking to get a certain dollar amount to replace that income? Now, just because your goal is to replace your income doesn't mean it's going to happen right away, but I want to make sure you have a clear idea of what this goal would be. But in addition to that, I also want you to think about, what are my goals? Like, how much flexibility do I need? How much time am I able to put in? That is the restraints part of this. So, how much time do I want to, is my goal to be able to have for freedom and flexibility? And where's that restraint of how much time I'm not willing to go over? Now, I'm not going to say that you're never going to go over that time restraint, because there are times in your business where you have to put in a little more work. And there's times where you can back up and say, I'm only going to do 10 hours a week, and you can absolutely do that. But there are seasons, I am telling you, where you are going to have to put in more time. So, the first step I really want you to look at is, what are your goals and what are your restraints that you need to add on? Now, these restraints, the boundaries can be flexible. Like I said, you could say, I'm only going to work 10 hours during the week. That is my restraint. But you need to know that there might be times when that boundary has to be flexible, and you might have to work a few extra hours that week based on what your goals are. Also, flexible boundaries are great when it comes to things like, I set a boundary, I am not going to work on Fridays. Well, when it came to summer vacation, I realized that I was, running here and there constantly with my kids, going out to the pool, doing different things, and I was taking away from my other days that I normally do work. So, having the boundary of not working on Fridays just wasn't feasible for me to get the amount of hours in that I want to work. So, that had to be a little bit flexible for the summer. But going back into back to school, I am going to try to go back to that boundary, as long as that's what I feel still fits. There have been times where I've said, no, Monday is the day that I'm not going to work because I'm so busy on the weekends that I need that Monday as my day off. So just understand that these boundaries might have to be flexible. All right, the next thing I want you to do is, I want you to evaluate your skills. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't up level the skills that you already have, but I want you to start with a skill that you have. So, how are we going to figure out what these skills are? Most of the time, we overlook a good portion of our skills. We take them for granted. So, your skills might be something that you've done for business, something that you do around the home, things that people ask you for help with, and you just do it without even thinking. Something that maybe you learned in school, something, I don't know. I think I like listed off the major categories. So, like, the technical skills, the professional skills, even don't overlook like your skills. Like, if you're great at communication, so a lot of people can be, relationship coaches. And the biggest thing that they do is they teach communication. in that. So don't overlook any of your skills. Go ahead and write them down. If you have skills that you absolutely do not like you have the skill but you dread using them, write them on the list and then just put a line through them. So that way you can keep in mind that that skill is there, but the line through is like, okay, I really don't want to build a business off of this. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to look at those skills and say, what problem can I solve for somebody, or what transformation can I get them? A transformation could be, if you work out every day and you can help other moms work out with, say, with their babies, yoga, mommy and me yoga, say you're going to do that. The transformation could be twofold. It could be building that bond with your child, going from upset child and you being frustrated to having that bonding moment, releasing that stress, etc. And it could also be the physical transformation that the mother receives, to her body when she is, post labor and wants to get back to a, more toned, more fit body. So your transformation is both emotional and physical a lot of the times, not always. Sometimes it's one or the other. But I just want you to think about the transformation that you can help someone achieve or the problem you can help them solve. So I like this example a lot. A candle is just a candle until you give it purpose. So, say you're making soy candles and you want to list off all the functions of the candles. You have the skill, you know how to make them, you enjoy making them. So you're going to start making them and sell them at maybe a local farm stand or something. But what is the purpose of this candle? How are you going to get people to buy it? Is it just because of the ingredients? Most likely not just the ingredients. Most likely it's the way they make them feel. Maybe it's the smell of the candle, the way it reminds them of their grandmother's cooking or being back on their grandparents' farm. Maybe it's the date night that they're going to have with this candle and how it's going to help them, help the date go better because the scents in it are going to help people relax, and when you're relaxed you feel more open up to conversation. Maybe it's she's going to take a bath, the mom that's all stressed out is going to take a bath with this candle in there, and it's going to the scents are going to help soothe and de-stress and all those things. So a candle is just a candle until you give it purpose. So if someone has a problem, your candle can actually help them solve that problem. It can also give them a transformation as well. All right. So that's how I want you to think about this. Your skills, look at the skills and see what problem or transformation, problem solving or transformation you can give to somebody. Okay. Next, I want you to try to think about how can I get the word out about my new business? Because I can't create any revenue. I can't create a stream of income coming in unless I get the word out. Is it going to be social media? Is it going to be word of mouth? Are you going to put an ad out in the paper? Or maybe you're doing a farm stand and you're going to put a sign in your front yard. There's lots of different ways, billboards, radio commercials, ads on YouTube, ads on Facebook. There's lots of different ways. Now, I don't suggest going straight into ads. I would suggest talking to people who could use your service or your product and starting from there. Word of mouth is the cheapest way to get the word out. Word of mouth can actually be done on Facebook, on Instagram. It can be done, in mommy and me groups. You can hand out flyers and then they learn about it. Then they tell other people and this and that. So how are you going to get the word out? So I want you to think about that because that can affect the way you start your business. Then I want you to start testing and start charging. When you test, so you're going to offer someone a candle, and I just keep using the candle, but you could also offer a tutoring service. So say you're really good at math and you are going to start tutoring kids in high school math. Maybe it's algebra. We'll go with algebra. And so you have a friend whose child is taking algebra. You can start tutoring them, ask for a um, feedback, ask for them what they liked, ask for what they didn't like, what would they change, did they, were they happy with the specific outcome, and ask for recommendations. If you are happy with this, can you please just, share about my services on your social media, tell your friends, things like that. So that first person might be a discounted rate or it might be free. Often, if I'm going to do free, I'm asking for that person to then give me feedback and give me a testimonial. Okay. So that's your one, two, three, four, fifth step right here is to start testing and start charging. Now, I want you to really be conscious of how long it takes you. You are a busy parent. Your idea is to get more flexibility and income. Well, those do not happen if you do not take action. Those do not happen if you spend all of your time working your business in busy time. So that does not work if you're just staying busy on the business. You need to take action that is going to move the needle. It's going to create progress, not just busy work sitting in your business doing whatever. You're not taking 6 months to perfect your soy candle. You're not taking a year to create a course that you've never tested or talked to people about. Okay. I want you to be conscious of the time that you are taking. You want to use it efficiently and effectively. You want to take action. I do not want you taking time away from your family just to get this going, but never actually taking the action. Okay? Don't take forever. Speaking of taking action, please take action by heading over to Instagram and letting me know that you watched this entire video. Send me a DM and let me know how it's going. Like if you've gone through any of these steps, how it's going. I really love to hear what your thoughts are and if you're needing any help in any of these areas. I can sometimes be slow in answering, but that's because I spend time with my family. But I will get back to you and respond to you. Send me a DM on Instagram. Let's take action. See you in the next video.